Everybody, so I want to talk to you guys about Maximilian Moss, aka one of the #1 gamers on YouTube who's really good at playing video games like Fortnite, Overwatch, Fortnite, Valorant, because Overwatch came out before Fortnite, and then Valorant. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, especially if you're a gamer. Also, guys, I used to be a video gamer. I used to play Fortnite. Doesn't mean I did it for a living. I just played Fortnite years ago. 2018 was actually the year I played Fortnite. And at first I didn't do good at it. I kind of sucked at it, but then I got a little better at it. Fortnite is still one of the most popular video games in the world. Not just the United States, my country, or Max's country, Sweden. But every country in the world Fortnite is the most popular video game. Now, I'm just saying that there's certain video games that anybody under 18 should not be playing video games. Certain video games. Just saying. It's a video game, it doesn't exist. The characters don't really exist. But can you imagine if these characters in Fortnite actually were real? It'll be like Fortnite in reality. Fantasy becomes reality, Fortnite's real, and it's not, but I'm just saying if it was. Just can you imagine that? So anyway, I saw one of the videos that Max made the other day, and he's basically saying, he was telling Americans about World War II and Holocaust, like telling everybody, Americans are responsible for this in World War II and those other things. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But anyway, he was trolling the other gamers, everybody else who's playing the game, and the language, the vile language, the cuss words, the swearing kind of language and all that. You're not supposed to be using cuss words, you're not supposed to be swearing, you're not supposed to be taking anybody's name in vain or making fun of them, bullying. Because if you read the Bible, Matthew chapter 7, verse 1, and this is not about religion, this is about just not judging somebody. Here it is. Matthew chapter 7, verse 1, the New Testament says that if you go read it for yourself, everybody out there watching this, go read it for yourself. Unless you're not watching this, you go watch it later, whatever. You can read it before you watch the video. Matthew chapter 7, verse 1. Do not judge, and you will not be judged. That means do not judge your neighbor, and God will not judge you on Judgment Day. And there's a reason why it's called Judgment Day. And I believe, and I acknowledge that Jesus is going to be busy on Judgment Day. Because look at the world around you, on the earth. So much the sin and wickedness going on. And it's real. See, a nightmare, at least you can wake up from it the next day and it's over. This you can't, because this world is real and it's happening all around everybody. In every country in the world, on every land, every soil, all these things are happening. But I'm not trying to call out or expose Max or anything. I'm just saying because, Americans originally were not involved in World War II until Pearl Harbor got destroyed and the United States got involved, and there was a war between the U.S. and Japan in World War II in the 30s and 40s. Correct me if I'm wrong on that in history. But it was originally between Jews and Nazis is during World War II and the Holocaust. And Hitler, he was involved in World War One. If Hitler and the Nazis were involved in World War One, you can go look it up online. He was involved in World War One, and then there was World War II. Now, this was a long time ago. It was 20th century, back way before I was born, maybe way before you guys were born, unless you're old enough to remember World War II. And yes, it was real. It actually happened. And anybody who says it didn't is lying, and the truth is not in them. And they're lying, and they're of the father, the devil, because the devil himself is a liar. If we're going to tell the truth, let's tell the whole truth, unfiltered, unrated. So here it is. World War II started in Germany, okay? And the only reason back then they called it Nazi Germany was because the Nazis were taking over. They were making a Nazi empire in Germany, and a lot of bad things were happening behind the scenes. It wasn't just because of the war side of it, behind the scenes. Everybody was so focused on the war side of it. It's not what's on the outside, guys. It's what's on the inside. Hear me out. the inside behind the scenes is when it took place. And this guy, Hitler, was a madman. He was possessed by the devil himself, because no ordinary man would have done this. This is somebody who was like demonic. It was bad. It wasn't an evil comes from the devil. It doesn't come from mankind. See, no man would ever be able to create evil the way this happens. All wars were started by the devil. Mankind just repeated it. Mankind just did it. But they had choice to make. Follow the rules and don't do it, or do it and not follow the rules. And they did the opposite. So it's a horrible thing, and the Jewish population should have never went through that. It was horrible. And no, Israel was not involved in World War II, because they're not in this European countries is when World War II started in. And this is why Europeans don't like these kind of things, because it is a horrible thing, that history that they went through. And me, as a U.S. citizen, talking about this, yes, the United States was involved in World War II, not in the Holocaust, but U.S. was involved in World War II with Japan, because Japan destroyed Pearl Harbor, and then that's when the U.S. got involved, and there was a battle. The U.S. won. Most of the wars in history, the United States won. But let's look at behind the scenes. The wars were started by mostly white men. Let's be honest about that. But actually, no. The devil himself used them to start the wars. The devil and his angels, the demons, fallen angels, did this. Whether you believe this or not, that they exist or not, they are real, and they want you to think they don't exist so you can sin and do what you want to do. War is the biggest sin on the earth. But if you read the Bible, the Lord gave us a plan for war and how to defeat the devil. If you don't bring the battle against the devil, then he's going to win. You have to think of a plan and a strategy and a solution. A strategy to start it, but a solution to finish it. So this has nothing to do with Max and video games, but I just want to put that out there, because he was talking about World War II and the gaming channel on his video. Americans were not responsible for World War II. Adolf Hitler and the Nazis empire was responsible for World War II, and they didn't take no responsibility. Mankind is not the brightest in the bunch. They're not the sharpest tool in the shed, or the number one crayon in Crayola's box. So I'm sorry, guys, but U.S. is not responsible for World War II. Any country out there who's biased and saying things about the U.S. that are not true, please stop. The United States was not responsible for every war in the world. Okay, most countries. Look at Britain. Look what they did. Look what England did to the United States back, I think it was the 16th century. It was a long time ago. In the Revolutionary War, it was a victory and a celebration after the war when the U.S. won, and Americans were celebrating. And I believe some of the founding fathers were involved in that war. So correct me if I'm wrong on that. Anybody out there, especially in European countries, want to give me a history lesson in the comments on YouTube here, I'd appreciate it. But the U.S. was not responsible for every war in history, just saying.